Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Norwich Talk for another match reaction. Norwich City have beaten Coventry 3-0. In our preview, we said we were sort of looking for this kind of result, this kind of performance, and I think Norwich City have met expectations today. I feel brave enough to say it based off that first half performance alone. The second half was a bit slower, but we'll get into that. Straight in with the lineup, there's a couple of changes. Teemu Pukki came in. I was interested to see what the shape would be. With Pukki, it was sort of a 4-2-3-1 really, and I don't oppose it. I was kind of thinking, I wonder how Josh Sargent feels. I'm sure after the game he feels great, but before the game he's probably a bit like, ugh, I'd rather be playing number 9, but being on the pitch is a blessing at the best of times, isn't it? So it was good to see him get his goal from that wide position. I'm sure that'll do his confidence in terms of playing on the right the world of good, and it'll make him really feel like he can contribute as well. Wonderful assist as well today. Really good performance from him. I think the other change was Cantwell coming back in. Cantwell on the whole, until his ball at the end, I think a bit of a frustrating day at the office for him. Wasn't really able to influence the game. He would have liked to have it, but you know, I still think he was kind of decent. But in terms of the first half, on the whole, Norwich in that first sort of 15 minutes, I kind of felt like a goal was coming, and the goal itself was just like watching sort of Buendia and Pukki link up again. And we talk about it all the time, and perhaps there's an element of not being able to get over Emi Buendia, but the sort of tackle, the press from Norwich was really clever. It was across the whole game, to be honest with you, apart from the periods of the game that were a bit sort of dull. They were the periods where Norwich weren't pressing. So it was quite clear that the press was what was setting the tempo for Norwich. And the goal, Nunez, wonderful bit of pressing from him. A beautifully threaded ball to Pukki. It was like, and you know, we're going to resent saying it at some point, but it was like watching Buendia do that and thread it through to Pukki. That's his bread and butter, and it was a wonderful finish. And one sort of piece of that play I'd really like to praise, because you can praise every single part of it, but one piece in particular I'd like to praise is sort of that touch. That takes it completely away from the defender. So Nunez plays it, Pukki takes his first touch, but with his right foot you'll notice where he sort of shifts it gently onto his left. It just takes everyone out of the game, and that for me proves Teemu Pukki's intelligence and confidence as well. This is a guy who I don't think has scored this season, so to be able to sort of hold your nerve in that manner, put it onto your weaker foot and just slot it under the goalkeeper, chef's kiss for Teemu Pukki. The second goal, again, was very, very good. I'm trying to picture it in my head at the moment. I think it was the Ramsey one, wasn't it? Aaron Ramsey, by the way, today was... I'm not going to oversell it and say he was sensational, but he was really good. I think I left Carrow Road thinking, that's what Aaron Ramsey is, which is quite clearly he's sort of that nippy little midfielder who loves to get the ball, and I think he's really positive on the ball, and I think that's a really good thing. It's a very useful thing when Norwich are sort of trying to play between the lines. You've got Ramsey who'll drop deep and sort of carry it forward and pick quite an intelligent pass. We saw the ball from a very wide position that he played into Sargent for the Sunderland goal, and I think for me, this ball across to Sargent was as intelligent in terms of the instinct isn't to look up and shoot, it's where can I play the pass, and I think that's the kind of player he'll be for Norwich this season. Let's keep our feet on the ground in terms of where Norwich are as a team at the moment, in terms of the opposition they played. Coventry, bottom of the table, struggling, but at the same time, praise where praise is due. You know, you beat what's put in front of you, you play what's in front of you, and Norwich were brilliant at that today. Teemu Pukki, again, sort of backing up that theory I think a lot of us have, and I mentioned in my last video, the preview and the reaction to Birmingham, which is Pukki's creativity. He sort of gets the ball, gives it to Ramsey in a really intelligent position, doesn't sort of panic about being in the box because Sargent is there to do the job. And I turned to my dad at the game and I said, it's such a wonderful thing having 3-4 attacking options. Last season it was kind of, where's Pukki? He's the only one who's going to score goals. Whereas now it's like Pukki finds himself out on the left wing, you're thinking, that's not the end of the world. We've got Sargent in there, we've got Ramsey in there, we've got Nunez, who I'm sure would arrive late, etc, etc. And it's just... it's a nice cohesion that the team has at the moment. And one thing where I want to give Dean Smith praise, and I think we all recognise it, is just the press. And Norwich have the ability to play through the lines. They have the ability to retain the ball. And that's something that's been bred into that group of players by Daniel Farke, but this new press from Dean Smith it's not like anything we've seen before, and I definitely don't think it's like anything we saw under Daniel Farke. I thought Coventry's press was actually all right as well today. I don't think they'll feel hard done by, but you sort of look at that team and think, it's not that bad. You know, we've seen worse at Carrow Road get more out of the games. For example, Wigan. I thought Wigan were absolutely atrocious. And if I was to pick a team out of them and Coventry to go down, it would be Wigan. But they came here, they got a point. Coventry came here and lost 3-0. So it's a funny old league, isn't it? But let's talk about the second half. The foot was taken off the gas significantly. And my point from that, and the thing I sort of took from that, was this idea that it's okay to be a bit lethargic, it's okay to be slow, it's okay to retain possession, but just don't do the stupid crap in the middle and give away silly chances. Norwich were pretty well disciplined today in terms of that. I think there was there two moments? I think there's one in the first half where the goal was maybe fortunately disallowed, which would have made it 1-1. Although from my end, it was the complete opposite end to me. From my end, it was like you can see Krul a little bit impeded, so it just kind of made sense. You see them given all the time. And then in the second half, Krul makes a fantastic one-on-one save. But beyond that, I never really felt under threat. There were times where Grant Hanley would get the ball and sort of play a hospital ball to whoever was in left back, whether it was Byram or McLean. Sam Byram today I thought was absolutely magnificent. His yellow card I thought was very harsh. But having said that, I haven't seen it back. But, you know, Coventry clearly recognised that when Hanley had the ball, run it in with all you've got and it will cause maybe problems. But in that second half, I'm really not fussed about Norwich being quite slow. I saw a specific tweet that said about how we have no creativity, how we're too slow. I respectfully disagree. And then the goal itself came from the whole team and the whole of Carrow being lifted by Arnel Hernandez's presence. I don't think he had much of a part to play within the goal from the top of my head, but he came on the pitch and he was just running at everyone. He wasn't as effective as he was against Birmingham or perhaps I think it was Huddersfield or Wigan, but it's what the game needed. It's what Norwich needed. It's what the fans needed. And after that lift, another goal came, and it was Sargent who got himself into a very good position. I think it was Campbell who played the ball to Sargent. It was a little bit too heavy, a little bit too wide, but he took the chop and again got his head up, played it across to Dowell. Dowell scores. Thank you for coming, Coventry. It's as simple as that, and I'm very pleased with it because it was a routine win. I never felt under threat. I sat there. I felt entertained. I was pleased to be there, which is a bit of a rarity these days at Carrow Road. Not so much in the Championship, but everything felt pretty positive. So you know, and when things aren't going in Norwich's favour, we're very negative and we're very happy to sort of slate them. So we'll hold that energy for the positivity and say, look, they were really good today. And I'm very pleased about it. The Coventry fans, the last thing I want to say, they're magnificent all game. They're the ones who generated the atmosphere at Carrow Road. So, you know, thanks for that. They were very loud, very proud. I like to think they'll be okay this season because they were a positive footballing side. Admittedly, they did try to keep... I'm trying to think of it as left or right. I think it was their left back. They just kept trying to play a diagonal ball to him and it just kept going over his head. I just felt a bit like... Surely if it doesn't work the first 15 times, you might stop, but was not meant to be for Coventry today, and it was for Norwich City. Thank you all very much for watching. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Who your man of the match was today. I'm trying to think who mine was. I'll probably say Sargent or Pukki as man of the match for me, but I'd love to know yours in the comments down below. What did you think of the goals? Do you agree with me as well? I think it's a big one. Do you agree in terms of this idea of not really feeling under threat at any point? If you'd like to give the video a thumbs up, that'd be appreciated. Subscribe too if you fancy it. And until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon.